Do you remember the movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the Tooth Fairy? I didn't, but they made a sequel to it starring Larry the Cable Guy, and it went straight to video. We're reviewing it. There was a kids movie about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson learning to become humbled through kids movie magic of him becoming a tooth fairy, and the whole joke was that it was a grown man in a tutu. They decided to do the same thing, except they got Larry the Cable Guy, and the joke is you got a big fat redneck guy running around with a tutu on. That's basically the whole movie, but let's talk about any kind of other thing that happens in it, like the very cliche plot. Larry tries to impress a woman by helping her at her after-school program. His plans backfire when he accidentally tells the children the Tooth Fairy is make-believe, forcing him to don a tutu costume and collect teeth to make up for his careless words. The movie's about Larry the Cable Guy, who plays a character named Larry. Of course he does. And he is this girlfriend who there's no way he would actually have a girlfriend that looks like that. She's totally out of his league. She is thinking about leaving him because he's kind of an irresponsible man-child, and she's thinking about maybe hooking up with this this rich, smug, kind of douchebag con artist salesman dude who's totally smug. We're just going to call him Dick in a Suit for the rest of the review. The thing is, Larry doesn't spend enough time with her family, like I think it's her little cousin or something, and it's like her birthday, and he would rather... The movie starts with him blowing off this whole family event of this girl's birthday party so that he can try and win this raffle so that he can get a muscle car. And he does by successfully bowling, and they try to fake you out with you got 3 shots, he fails the first 2, and he does great the last time, and he wins the muscle car. And Larry's girl, she loves kids, she works with kids, she works at this after school place where kids hang out and do activities and stuff. And Larry goes to see her one day, trying to impress her with the muscle car. It says a year later, and yeah, Larry's, of course, he plays a mechanic because, of course, he does. And then here's where Larry's jerk moment comes in. He almost, emphasis on almost, spills the beans that there's no such thing as a tooth fairy to this one kid who's like 8 years old. So yeah, Larry's a jerk. His girl hears that he almost told a kid that the tooth fairy's not real. She practically leaves him, so he's all alone eating his bucket of fried chicken in his trailer. Of course he lives in a trailer. And then here's where the magic intervention comes in. He is given the tooth fairy effect, where he's brought into a tooth fairy realm helmed by this 10-year-old girl who talks like she's 40. That needs to stop. Movies, commercials, television, whatever. Whenever you have really young kids talking like miniature adults, that shit's creepy. Stop. She puts a curse on Larry that he's gonna have to be a tooth fairy to learn to be more humble and interact better with kids. And that's basically the whole movie. Larry gets a new job working at the kids center with his girl so that they can get along better. He's of course irresponsible, but she gives him way too many second chances. I don't know why she keeps doing that. The first day he's there, he decides that him and the kids are gonna have a snowball match. Meanwhile, the movie takes place in Florida, and what he does is he makes snowballs with pantyhose and flour stuffed into them. The kids seem to be having fun with it, and of course she sees this, and then she gets hit with one, and she's about to fire him, but oh gosh darn it, you're the main character, you get a second chance several times throughout the course of the movie. When speaking of this kids center, bringing out yet another glorious cliche, it needs to be saved. Just like in Norm of the North. So we have to have a fundraiser to make sure this thing doesn't get shut down by, you guessed it, Dick in a Suit and his evil fellow con artist salesman. This movie and movies like it are a cliche soup. And as for the Tooth Fairy shenanigans, well, there's a part where he farts fairy dust. That happens. And there's a running gag about there's a pig instead of a bulldog on a leash that chases after him. That happens. He ends up having a conversation with this little girl who feels like she's neglected by her parents because she has a new baby sister. that was like the movie's tender moment. He slowly makes that one kid who he made feel bad for saying the Tooth Fairy's not real regain belief in the Tooth Fairy again, and the kid has this kind of subplot. It just kind of happens like a couple, like not even a couple times. It just comes and goes, where the kid wants to be an artist and his dad doesn't want him to be an artist. Oh my god, this is like seriously. They just grabbed a script. Like this is the plot generation machine. They'll take the most cliche elements. Kid wants to do something with his life. Parent doesn't want that. Negligent main character needs to learn responsibility. He has a girlfriend who's stuck between him and some obvious other asshole who's obviously going to be the villain. It's so cliche. It's blah, blah, blah. Dick in a suit gets rejected by main girl. She takes Larry back. Larry learns responsibility, and the family is supposed to all gather around the TV and laugh at the idea of a fat redneck man in a tutu. That is the whole movie right there. All in all, this movie exists. That's the whole point of the movie, is that it's one joke and it's dragged out. I'm kind of surprised about the pacing. The pacing wasn't that awful. It takes them 20 minutes in an hour-and-a-half movie to get to the whole him becoming a Tooth Fairy thing. They actually got into it pretty quick. Most movies of this type usually take like half an hour to actually get into the movie. But like near the first 15-20 minutes, that's impressive. The jokes themselves, it's Larry the Cable Guy doing his typical Larry the Cable Guy stuff, which I guess makes little kids laugh because they saw it in Cars. Whatever. At the end of the day, it's a kids movie. Kids are gonna love it while their parents go upstairs and you know, go do some bath salt. So who cares really? If I had to put this movie on par with something, I guess I'd put it on par with Thunderstruck, just because it's a cliche story that you really don't care about. It's in that league of just like mediocre straight-to-video movies where it's like it has a decent budget and somebody with a big name in it, but really, like, in terms of quality, it's just blasé and forgettable. Like I said, kids are gonna love it, but really, who cares? It's a Larry the Cable Guy movie that's a sequel to some family movie that The Rock was in. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Look forward to some of the videos for September. I'm gonna be doing an editorial, so look forward to that. And then after that, we're gonna be doing a review of a movie for our 5th year anniversary of the series, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, until then, I'm Adam Sykes, and this is the Blockbuster Show. We'll see you guys next time.